come on. Why is that not working? Okay, I gotta turn the light on. Okay. Here we go. Trying. I was trying to get a little bit of. I don't know why this isn't working. SOS only. Come on. Little bit of music. Hey, how are you? Hi. Nice to see you. I've heard and I know because I've posted 2 videos already today and they have like 0 views on them. But there are comments. So there's something wrong. Thank you for all the hearts. There is something wrong with YouTube's, there's something going wrong with YouTube right now with like the number count or something, but whatever. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. Is this working? Trying to get a little background something for us. It's not really, not digging that. Mr. Hank, thanks you so much. Now my gift, just kidding. Thanks again, Georgia. Georgia, you knew Republic of Georgia, the country like Eastern Europe, right? Is that what you're talking about? Sunculp. Hey, Cha-Cha, how you doing? How's your day? Well, so far my day is good. My day is good. It's Tuesday. Tuesday's not usually my favorite day, but I did want to get on and do a live because I did find out that on Wednesday and Thursday, I have to work late on Wednesday and Thursday. So I won't be able to do a live on Wednesday or Thursday. So I'll be back on Friday. So I wanted to make sure that I got in today for a little while. Oh my gosh. Anyone remember? Is anyone as old as I am? Oh my gosh. So I'll be back on Friday, but let's see, Wednesday and Thursday, I have a lot of work, so I won't get finished with work till like several hours later than usual, and then I would be coming in at like a really late night swoop. I mean, I could try to do a live, but I don't know how well that would go, because usually if I change my time, I usually try to start around the same time, no matter what day it is. And if I start much later, I often have a completely different dynamic of people, and they aren't always very nice. So I tend to find that the people earlier in the day are more mature and a little like nicer. They're not just not a bunch of jerkos. Mo, I drink water, stay hydrated. I do. I take electrolytes all day long. I actually do because I'm on a keto diet. I eat keto, so I have to supplement my electrolytes. But thank you, appreciate that. Georgia, yes. Oh, right. Georgia, you're talking about East Europe, right? Right. I thought, yes, the country, yes. Sunculp, I've been cutting down on 6. Hey, Sunculp, good for you. I mean, I think that's the way to do it. We talked about that, I think, yesterday or the day before, and you asked, like, how to do that. And, you know, I've had stuff that I've had to cut out of my life, like sugar and carbs and other thing, other things that I won't mention. But I have found that when I do it just a little bit every day or every couple days, and just really try to stick with that little bit. But good for you. I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. Uh, Anarchy. Hi, Mrs. Robinson. Oh, well played. Well said. Yes, absolutely, Mrs. Robinson. Although I'm not Mrs., but I like the little movie thing that's going on. Are you younger? Anarchy. Are you younger? Okay, let's try. Oh, no, 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 no. That was. No, no. Get rid of this. Oh, shoot. What did I do? No, 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 no. I hit a button and it's trying to do a question thing, and I need to get rid of it. And it's not just swiping away. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to wait till it sort of times itself out. It asks, the algorithm asked me if I wanted to do a little Q&A thing. And I said yes. And I thought I would be able to choose my own question, right? And then you guys can answer yes or no. But it automatically popped up with mobile games fan. I'm like, oh, good grief. How do I get rid of this? Drag here to end. There we go. There we go. Got rid of it. Got rid of it. I had to let it time out. Oh, good grief. I need to learn what the heck, and took a break, right? Peter says, howdy, partner. Howdy, partner. Yeah, I worked most of the day today, and I went coming home and deciding to do a live because I'm going to be working late on Wednesday and Thursday, and usually I do a live on Thursday. So, but I know that I have to work late this Thursday, so I won't be done with work until several hours later. I mean, from now, like several hours later, I won't even be done. So it's one of those things. No apology necessary. I know how working can be. I know it's like you want to do these things, but it's like, you got to pay the bills first, right? Peter, you listen to gangster rap? Not usually. Not usually. The band or the music. There used to be a band called Gangsta Rap. DG, hi Chacha, how you doing? You look lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Anarchy, how old are you, Mrs. Robinson? I am 60 years old. How about that? Vendance, what do you do for a living? I work in an office with a desk and a computer, and it's not that interesting. It's a lot of just computer stuff, so not that interesting. Peter, happy 21st birthday. Not quite yet. And we could do 21st times like 3, not quite 3, but yeah, I'm a wee bit beyond that. You know what I'm saying? I know, I'm not probably supposed to be putting music on, but just, it's coming from the neighbor, and I need to be muting it out, right? I don't know. Van Done, damn, I didn't know 60 could be like that. Can I be 62? Well, 60 can be whatever you want it to be. It can be absolutely be whatever you want it to be. You just have to decide, Are you going to enjoy it or not? Sanal says, hey, Anarchy. Um, Sean, sign in with a hi, sign in, says hi, yes. Oops, I know, oops, me too. Anarchy, hello, sir, from Anarchy. I hope I'm saying that right. Anarchy, I think I am. I think I am. It's hard for me to see because I'm on my phone here and can't hear real well. Vendant, save yourself for me. Oh, flattered, flattered. I appreciate that. That's very nice. That's very nice. Um, I will save myself for forever, maybe. I don't know. I don't know where I'm headed. I am at this point in my life. I've already had so much before, and right now I'm just working and kind of pausing and going, okay, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do for whatever might be the remainder of my life? You know, I don't know how I'm gonna live. And what should I do? I've traveled already. I've created businesses that have like done really well and then failed. I've done businesses that have done mediocre and still thrive. I've never done anything fantastically great other than raise my children. I have children that are adults, and I feel like that was a great success. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, big wheels keep on turning. That's right. Slim Jim, how are ya? Bringing me home to my kin. Yes. Have you been looking at my shorts? I love that old rock and roll. The reason I said that is because you talk and look like my psychology teacher. Okay. Venda, she was a flirt though. Sunals, I hear, used to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Who? Me? Me or someone else? Anarchy, how to be a great 60 like you. I have no idea. I just keep going forward, and I think it's a mindset, right? I mean, that's a great compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, get a lot of sleep. I love to sleep. Absolutely love to sleep and eat good food and take a walk every day, I guess. And don't be an asshole. Oh, that one's a big one. Don't be an asshole. So, absolutely, don't be an asshole. That will take years off of your life. Just be a good, decent person and you won't age. I think if you're an asshole and a jerk to people, you're gonna age. You're gonna get wrinkles. You're gonna feel miserable. You're not gonna sleep well at night. You're gonna be sick a lot. I think it comes around to get you. So just don't be that. Just don't be that person. Uh, so no, I'm off on the weekends. Very good. Oh, you, okay. So no, Vedant, got any tattoos? I do. Yes, 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 I do. But look, you can't see them, can you? You can't see them. They are here, but they are put in, and one of them is quite large, actually. I think a lot of people have tattoos. My first tattoo I got in 1986, I think. And that was before getting tattoos was like a trend. I think right now it's kind of a trendy thing. It's kind of a popular thing. So a lot of people get tattoos. Um, and back in the 80s, it wasn't. To get a tattoo, there weren't all kinds of like cool tattoo parlors or tattoo shops all around town. You had to actually go to kind of the sketchy area of town, and that's where you get your tattoo, because the people getting tattoos were mostly military, and here in San Diego, we have a lot of military. So the old tattoo shops, they would still stay busy enough. But you had to go to this little sort of side door place, in downtown or below downtown, in sort of these neighborhoods that weren't real. And my first tattoo was little, and it only cost $20. And I still have it, yes. I have that tattoo, and I have I have two tattoos. A second tattoo. The second tattoo I got when I was 52 or 50. I think I was 53 years old. Yeah, much older. And it's a much larger tattoo. And it has color. My first tattoo is just no color, really. Girish, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome back. Hi, Miss. Good morning, Grish. Very good to see you for sure. Sonal, yes, he's a friend. I heard they are painful, not bad. Um, uh, you know what? It depends on how you do it. It can be painful. Um, the first one I got was small, and it was kind of just an outline. It took like not even 10 minutes. So by the time I was feeling the pain, I was like, it was over with. The second one took like almost 8 hours. And somehow I wound up doing it all in one session rather than splitting it up into two sessions, which probably would have been better, because my tattoo artist and I had a miscommunication. She thought it was going to be black and white. And when I showed up the day, she had drawn out the drawing of it, because we had met beforehand, and I told her what I wanted, and she drew a drawing of it. And when I came, I saw the drawing of it. I love it. I love it. It looks great. And somehow she's like, well, it's black and white, or she said it's black and gray. And I'm like, no, I want this to be full color, and in this spectrum of colors. And she was like, oh, well, that's gonna take much longer, and it's gonna cost differently, and it goes through, because when you do color tattoos, they when they use a tattoo pen, they go to different levels of skin layers to put the ink in. And it's different, and it just takes much, much longer to do color rather than just black and gray, apparently. That was what I took away from it. Anyway, so she told me that we could stop at any time if I needed to stop. And we started at I think around 2. Ooh, I gotta be quiet with that one because that's definitely copyright. We started around 2 in the afternoon on a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday, maybe it was another day of the week. But we started 2. And I remember by I mean, certainly within the first hour, I was like, oh, but I thought, okay, I just need to wait for my endorphins to kick in. And I'm laying on a table. Um, and it just continued to hurt. And I beforehand had taken some ibuprofen to sort of, and then after about 3 hours, I took more ibuprofen. And we took breaks about every 2 hours. And when we got down to maybe 5 hours into it, I remember thinking, I feel like I need to throw up just from the pain, because I was thinking in my head, maybe that will make me feel better, because I'm in so much pain that maybe throwing up will make me feel better. And so we took a break and, well, whatever. But I made it to like 8 hours. And at the end, I could tell she was kind of rushing. And she said I could come back and sort of tune up the end of it. And I never went back and did that. Anyways, so so that's the story about like the pain. It is painful. Yeah, it can be. And I was meditating and I was breathing and I was doing all the things and taking like ibuprofen and Tylenol. I was taking all the stuff. And, when we would take breaks to go to the bathroom and take a drink of water and all that stuff. But it's it's like this compounding pain that either you can tune it out or you can't. And I mean, I could to an extent. I could not have gone much longer. I mean, you can do anything, I suppose, but I wouldn't have chosen to go on. If she said it was another hour, I was ready to say, okay, we need to stop and I'll come back another day and we'll finish it up. Um, and we could probably go back and finish some things up, but it was a number of years ago. So, um, and I'm happy with it, the way it looks. I would change a few. I would add or alter a few things, not because you can't really change it, but I would add to and sort of emphasize and do a few different things on that. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Oh, uh, Vikash says, hey, young lady, hello. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Oh no, that was 7 or 8 years ago. That was 7 or 8 years ago. So I'm not going through it now. That was a long time ago. I mean, I'm well past that. That was just the story of getting the tattoo. Gagan, are we meet again, Grandma? And this time you look so beautiful. Well, thank you, Gagan. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, yeah, no. I'm not going through it right now, so no. This was, I think it was 2018. So that would have been, and it was this summer, so almost 8 years ago. Over 7 years ago, for sure. That was just the story of me getting a tattoo. A big, colorful tattoo. And that's what, I think somebody asked, does it hurt to get a tattoo? And it can. It just depends on what you're getting, if you're getting colors or not colors, and how big it's going to be and where it's going to be on your body. And then you can also break down getting tattoos into more than one session. Like you get, this much done. You just arrange a time schedule with your tattoo artist. And you'll do, in the future, if I were ever to do one again, which I don't know that I would ever do one again, but I would say, you know what, I can do 2 or 3 hours at a time. And if it's gonna, you just figure out how long it's gonna take. And then that's how long I can tolerate the pain at a time, or I choose to tolerate. You can tolerate anything, but I don't want to feel like that again if I don't have to. But it gives me a lot of compassion for things. Abish, namaste. Hi, Abish. How are you, my friend? Having a little red wine, are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. I didn't think I was going to do a live this afternoon, but I learned today that Wednesday and Thursday I have to work late, and so won't be doing lives on Wednesday or Thursday. Like the next 2 days, I won't be able to do lives. So I thought, well, I'll come on tonight and pop on, do a live, have some fun, see my friends, and then I'll be back probably on Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I'll put out a community notice. I haven't been very good about doing my community notices lately. Abish, oh my God, oh my God, what? Oh my God, what? Did you hear me talk about the tattoo thing? What's the oh my gosh? What's the oh my gosh? I have no idea. New person cover is the Simon and Garfunkel song. They got covered by the hard rock band Disturbed. Name that song. That's not this song. The Simon and Garfunkel song. Unknown. Cigarette, no devil, you pretend the Marines. Okay, Gagan. Okay, bye, we meet later. So, okay, Gagan, see you later. Have a good night. Okay, the song that Simon and Garfunkel did, that Disturbed covered, was The Sound of Silence. Does anyone remember that? By Simon and Garfunkel. First, overheating. Oh, it's back on. I get so much spam phone call stuff. I'm doing this on my phone. Do you guys get spam? I get, oh, see, everyone's gone because my thing froze, right? But I get so much spam on my darn phone. It's ridiculous. Okay. Well, everyone went away because my screen froze. Well, that's great. And I just remembered the name of the song too, The Sound of Silence. And I think the version that Disturbed did, actually, it moved me way more than the Simon and Garfunkel version of it. So there's that. I think it was much more passionate. But when Simon and Garfunkel wrote the song, it was meant as a folk song because they were folk singers. And then when Disturbed came and took it and made it into like a hard rock with his gritty, deep rock and roll voice and made it into sort of this, I don't know if you'd call it a ballad, but it was like a rock, almost like powerhouse anthem beat. Maybe not anthem, but it's pretty darn good. When I first heard it, it was actually on the radio. And it was like 4 years after it was released. I can't believe I never heard it until then. Because music is so scattered right now. You have to actually be plugged into someone on one of the music platforms to know what's going on. It's not like radio. But I was driving in my car and I had the radio on, and the version of Disturbed covering The Sound of Silence came on. I was like, oh, what is this? I had to actually pull the car over because I was so blown away by the version of it. I was really blown away. It was beautiful. Loved it. Still love it. Can listen to it over and over and over and over again. Okay, so am I back online? My screen froze and everyone emptied the room. So I'm like, okay, is anyone back? YouTube seems to be having a few problems today. Um, Austin, hello, darkness, melt friend. Yes, that is exactly it. Austin, did my screen freeze? Because on my end, my screen froze, and I don't I don't know what the heck happened. I checked my phone if it had overheated. It wasn't. No, my phone wasn't overheated. My battery was not dead. My Wi-Fi was working. I'm like, must be YouTube. Must be YouTube. I know it's such an awesome song though. And the difference between, talk about the difference between Simon and Garfunkel singing it as a folk song versus Disturbed singing it as a rock, gritty, heavy song. So different. Awesome. Batty says, hello, hey, Batty, good to see you again. How's your life going, friend? Mine is going good, though. Good. I'm glad to see you again. Thanks for popping by. It's good to see you. It's a superb. Oh, 100%. I think it's one of my most favorite covers ever, other than Whitney Houston covering Dolly Parton's song from The Bodyguard. I Will Always Love You. That is like hands down like one of the best covers ever, ever, ever. But then, if you go because it was a country song that turned into a pop song, and with the Sound of Silence, it was a folk song that was covered by and turned into a rock and roll. So those are the covers that I think are really, really good. And I actually got on this topic because of Tracy Chapman's song, um, What Driving in My Car, and Luke Combs covered it. I think that's where we got on this topic. Michael says your stream is running well. I think we had a glitch there for a minute, but I'm glad it's going better now. Good, I'm glad. Michael didn't freeze for us. Oh, it didn't freeze for you. Okay. Maybe it was on my end. Although I checked everything, I don't know why it would stop, but whatever. I'm glad you're all back. It did freeze, went black. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't know quite what's going on. And I know with YouTube, they've had a few glitchy things today because earlier today, like, what time? Like 5 or 6 hours ago, I posted a short, and usually my shorts are, pretty basic. They're just of nature with some rock and roll on them, and they usually have a certain amount of views. And even if it's low views, it's within a range, right? This was like I had 0 views for like an hour and a half. I'm like, why are you showing it to nobody? So something was kind of funky. I don't know. And then when I went into the YouTube like studio thing, it says we're having some live stream glitches, or I don't know. They said they were having a problem with the viewer count, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm sorry if it glitches out on you or anything. Um, I'm not trying to do that. Um, I'm trying to keep it all. I'm trying to keep it all straight and hunky dory for my pals out there. You know, got the love for you. Got the see how I feel like such a child when I do that, but I do have love for you. But that does make me feel a little bit childish. Not sure why. Lucky Singh said hi. Hi, Lucky Singh. How are you? Nice to have you here. We were just sorting out some technical difficulties. So, what were the thing? What were, other than like cover records? Okay, the ow. I'm getting kind of caught up in things here. My hair. Um, there were other things that I was thinking about talking about tonight, and I'm trying right now to rack my brain. Oh, well, for those of you that's old, has anyone gone through a midlife crisis? I think I've gone through several, quite honestly. But I've survived. I think I've gotten past them. I've survived them. And now I am just, you know, I am where I am. And, but am I going to have more midlife crises? I don't know. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of, I kind of look forward to it now. It's not so bad. It's kind of more of a challenge now. It's like, is it a crisis or is it a challenge? Am I supposed to try to figure this out and like walk this path rather than that path? This would be the easy and safe path. Am I supposed to do kind of the risky, reckless path? I don't know. So I look at a midlife challenge or midlife, they say crises. I mean, crisis, what does that mean? Crises, I say challenge. Crises, challenge, crises, challenge. Ah, I guess it's how you look at it. Crisis would mean maybe that your life was going to change in a way that you did not necessarily want it to, right? A challenge is just like, okay, it might change in a way you didn't expect it to, I think, maybe. Because we never know how our life is going to go, right? Because think about back when you're like in your teenage years or 20s or even 30s or, depending upon how old you are, especially when you were younger, when you were in your teens or your 20s, and you had a vision for your life, and my life is going to be like this. Did your life turn out like that? Did it? Did it? Mine did not. My life went here and there and here and there, and it's like, oops, there's this that popped up, and now you got to deal with this. Oops, there's this that popped up, now you got to deal with this. Oops, well, life never went the way I planned it. Certainly not. Did not go the way I planned it. I'm fine. I'm no harm, no foul, but I don't think, and I look at many people that I know, and it's like, did their lives go the way they expected it to? It's like, nope, nope, not at all. I wanted it, I thought it was going that way, and I was going to land exactly right here. It's like, nope, that isn't the way life works. I don't think that's the way life works. Not for me, anyway. Life did not work out that like intricate planning little thing. And my life is great. I'm perfectly fine with the way and where I am right now. But it certainly was not at all what I had thought when I was like, say, 18 years old or 21 or 25 years old or even 30 years old. Not at all what I had expected. But my life is good. It might be even better than I had expected, because when you're young, you can't even envision what is out there in life because you haven't really experienced much life. So there can be a lot out there that exists that you don't even know, and your life might take a zig and a zag and get you somewhere that you weren't expecting. And it's a good thing. It might, oh, it's not always painless. There's that too. It's not always painless. There are some painful zigs and zags, but I'll just say it, my life has turned out all right. There have been some painful zigs and zags, but I don't think I would trade any of it. I know I wouldn't trade any of it. I've had people on here ask me, what are my greatest regrets? They're younger people and they're like, what are your great regrets? Why is that guy wearing a jacket? Is it raining? He had a hood on. I'm like, people don't wear hoods around here. This is San Diego, but the sky is kind of dark. Somebody just walked by with like a hood on. I'm thinking, it could be raining. Hold on. I gotta look. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's raining. I mean, maybe he was just cold. It's odd though. It was an odd thing. Just a little oddity. Um, Elijah, I had a quarter life crisis, to be honest, but I'm finally coming out of it. Eh, that's one of the zigs and the zags I was talking about, right? Austin, I had my 50s much better than my 40s. You find your 50s, right? I think so too. Kind of the older I get, it's like the more chill. Abish, do you smoke weed? Did I smoke weed ever? Oh, I've smoked weed. Oh yeah, for sure. I grew up in California. I grew up in California. I was born in the 60s and I had my young teenage years in the 70s in California. So, absolutely. And we are one of the most populous states. We are the most populated state in the United States. And we were one of the first states that made cannabis legal. So, but even before that, I mean, all the young people knew someone, either were doing it themselves or knew someone who had a little plant growing in their bathtub or in their backyard or somewhere. And back in those days, back in the 70s, everyone knew someone who had a little plant or two or three or 10 and or they knew where to buy a nickel bag or a dime bag. A nickel bag was like beep. It was $5 back then of just weed. And it wasn't the kind of cannabis that you would buy now. It was 1975 cannabis or 1978 cannabis, and it wasn't that strong. Two people could smoke a joint or they didn't call them blunts then, a doobie or a spliff. A spliff was kind of a leftover. There were a lot of words for it. Um, damn, I turned 15. Well, if you're 15, you should not be on this live stream. Please go away. Abby, try joint. It can cure. Okay, Austin. Okay. You guys were on like a little tangent there. Okay. Yeah. Tucson, I felt I was falling from my bed. Well, cannabis can the stuff they sell nowadays, I can't even smoke that stuff at all. It is like 100, 200 times as strong as it was when I was a kid smoking, a 13-year-old or 14-year-old smoking cannabis. And that's the word I'm going to use because I don't want to get flagged or something, but because it is legal in California, but back then it was not. And people were, like I said, they were growing it in their backyard or in their bathroom or whatever they were doing. And that's where you would get, or you'd have a friend who knew someone and you'd get this sort of really weak stuff and they'd roll a little thing up and you'd smoke it with your friends and it would go around the circle of people and each person would maybe get 2 puffs. And that was just enough. It was just enough to just kind of, it wasn't like today where you're like, oh, you know, I mean, today I have been offered on several occasions um, various forms to smoke, to eat edibles, and different things. Oh, and they make it in liquid form so you can like drink it now too. And I've done those various versions of it, and does not agree with me at all. I have a story when I was, uh, Nickelbag was crazy, right, Elijah? Right? That's unheard of. Nickelbag. Do you remember that? Or are you making fun of me? Does this emoji mean anything to you? Well, that would be this, right? I mean, amazing cha-cha, Abish. Elijah, highest ever I ever got was Gilbert. Oh my God, that real cannabis. Well, it was good. It was good, but back in the 70s, it was a lot weaker. It's not like it is now. Nowadays, it's like, slap you upside the head kind of stuff. I can't do the stuff they sell now in the stores. And now that they've made it legal and they regulate how much THC is in every portion or whatever. It's like, I can't do that. It's too strong. It's too much because they make those limits really, really high. And I can't do it. I can't because it's just too strong. I want that. I want the stuff from 1978. That's the stuff I want back. I want the baby bear stuff, not the Papa Bear stuff. I want the baby bear stuff back. The little wimpy little joints. Do you guys know what a roach clip is? Do you even know what a roach is? Not a cockroach, but a roach. If we're talking about cannabis, a roach. Oh my gosh. Elijah, in California. Elijah, I like being, from the canvas. Tushan, ma'am, you had the best teenager life back in the day. I did. I really do believe I did. Elijah, it's funny. It is totally funny. You should have seen me when I was high. I was worthless. Elijah, I do. I don't know if Tushan Iman does. Oh, well, that's okay. We're talking about kind of roach clip. Austin comes in with roach clip. Okay, Austin may know what a roach clip was. Because thank you for bringing me back to that, Austin. Um, a house tour? No, not right now. We're talking about other stuff. It's not that interesting. There's the kitchen. Here's the living room, bedroom, bathroom. That's it. Not that interesting. Roach clip. Okay, so back in the 70s, the girls, what a roach clip was this little pincher clip, right? And girls, you could buy this little pincher clip that would have like a string of leather and then like a feather on it. And what the roach, and we would wear them in our hair like that, right? And it would just be a little clip in the hair, but it would be this feather. But if you notice what kind of clip it was, it had these little teeth in it. And it was, I don't have anything to show you, but it was like this little crocodile mouth, right? With these little teeth. And see, our cannabis was so precious to us that, if you went around and by the end of it, there was just a little bit left. Nowadays, people just throw away that little bit that's left. Well, that's what we used to call the roach. It was the little bit that was left, right? And so you would take this little clip, and so you wouldn't burn your fingers. You would use this little crocodile teeth thing, and you would grip it onto whatever was left of the little joint, and then you could and that's what you would do. You would laugh, and then you could pass the roach clip around until you got every last bit. That's how precious it was. And then we'd put the roach clip back in our hair after it was done, and we'd throw away the last little, it was all gone. And then we kept the roach clip back in our hair with the little feather that was attached to it. And that was kind of how you could tell the girls that would smoke and the girls that didn't smoke, because the girls that smoked often would have these little clips in, here. They'd wear them in their hair and they would kind of dangle down. And oh, the days, roach clips. Yeah, so that's a roach clip. Austin understands. I love to wait. What do we got? Well, we'll do a house tour another time, not today. My place is not that interesting, honestly. I lived in South Beach for 4 years, 20 years ago. The cab drivers were all stoned. South Beach, where 20 years ago. Well, so 20 years ago, that's like 2006. Wait a minute. Where is South Beach? Like South Beach where? What do we, like, what location are we talking about? But that's funny. But that's funny. And how did you know they were, Austin, how did you know they were all stoned? Right? Luke, beautiful. Thank you, Luke. Kenneth, hey. Good evening, Cha-Cha. Thank you, Kenneth. It's good to see you. Welcome in. We were just reminiscing down about roach clips, if you remember what roach clips are, and how some young girls would wear them in their hair and they would have a feather on them, and what the purpose of a roach clip was. Do you know, Kenneth, what the purpose of a roach clip was? Tucson, wow, Elijah, South Beach, like Miami. Right, and where I live, we have a place that's called South Beach in California. So, Austin, what are you talking about? Oh, he's talking about Miami. Okay. So, Austin, you've been to Miami, South Beach. That's kind of a 20 years ago, 2006. Okay. Good for you. Good for you. Very good for you. Miami. I have a friend that was that just came back from Key West, from a week in Key West. Just came back, I think, yesterday. And I have another friend who also was in Key West. One of them was in Tortugas down there. The other one went all the way down to Key West. Not both of them went to Key West. One went to Key Tortugas. The other one went to Key West. But it was interesting because these are people that don't know each other, but I know both of them, and they both had let me know, hey, I'm going to Florida, and I'm going to go down to. So that was kind of cool. Miami Beach, Elijah. Oh, nice, Elijah. Yes. A fun time and a fun place. Yeah. Yeah. South Florida. It's very fun. And right now, for people to be going down there, it is spring break. So they still get, apparently, I'm like, do people still do, because you hear about how the younger people today are different than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. Like 40 years ago, when I was in my 20s, a spring break was like, what? it was off the rails. It was crazy. We would go to Mexico down here, and it would be a week. We would rent an RV, like a big motorhome, and like 20 of us get into it and drive down into Mexico and just be chaotic. Just chaos. No cares in the world for a week or 5 or 6 days, whatever we were able to get away with. And it used to be the way it was. Like Florida was a huge destination. Fort Lauderdale was a huge destination for spring break, and the girls would be like showing their, show us your titties, show us your, and they would be, everyone would be just off the rails having fun. Now, that was in my youth. I have heard that the younger generations now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but I've heard that younger people, I know my kids, they're in their mid 20s, they never did spring break, and they're not square. They're not, they know how to party, but that's just not something that young people today do. And you know what? I think I have a theory. I have a theory on it, and you can probably guess what it is, right? Elijah, spring break is nothing now, right? A beach by Cha Cha Cha. That was interesting. So, by a beach. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next time, my friend. Let's go South Florida. Right? March was not spring break, straight into Winter Music Festival. Okay, but spring break is nothing now, says Elijah. Okay, that's kind of the vibe and the energy that I've heard from, a number of people. And they say, nope, nope, kids don't do it like they used to. Because, what do you think? Why? Video. Because they can't, you know what? When I was young, you could do any craziness, smoking, drinking, falling down, just chaos, absolute chaos. Nobody had a camera. Nobody had videotape. It was just whatever you remember or whatever, it's like, but nowadays, I think the young people are very, very concerned that if they act that way, of course, somebody is going to videotape it and then put it on the internet to embarrass them or humiliate them or shame them or whatever. And I can see that. I can see that affecting spring break. Am I right, Elijah? Is that the reason? Is that the reason? I don't know. Let's go South Florida, blah, blah, blah. Luke says beautiful. Thank you, Luke. But am I right, Elijah? What do you guys think? I mean, I know that I would be more careful nowadays just because of that. Because if you're going to flash yourself and know that there's going to be 50 people with cameras on you, it's like, well, no, I guess I'm not going to flash. I'm not going to let myself go to that level. I'm not going to have too many drinks where I might fall down or make a fool out of myself. I'm not going to make out with that guy over there in the corner just randomly, just because. I'm not going to do all those things because somebody will be videotaping everything and put it on the internet. I think that's what's changed it. I don't know if that's good or bad. Is that good or is it bad? I think it takes away some of the freedoms that young people had when I was growing up. I know we had a lot of freedom. I don't know whether that was good or bad, that we could act crazy without any accountability. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know what's your opinion. Elijah video is a good point. Also, young people aren't as outgoing. They don't meet new people in person. They stick with the friends they already have or meet friends on social. Well, see, it's what you're pointing out, Elijah, is just what I'm saying. Is it's just the cell phone. It's the thing in itself, right? It's just this that this even exists in the world is why people are different. Young people are different and they have to live differently, you know, which is too bad. You know, I feel bad for younger people today, you know, because they have to feel concerned. Yeah, they have to feel concerned that they're being watched. They're being watched all the time and everything they do is being analyzed. When I was young, hell no, we didn't. If our parents weren't in the room, we could we could actually do whatever the heck we wanted to do. And nobody, there was no way to hold us accountable. You know, we could just be complete assholes, and not that we didn't go around being assholes, but we could act crazy and we could let loose and we could have fun and not worry about there being a video going, look what so and so did, you know, when they drank that drink or they smoked that thing or they did whatever they did. You know, I mean, I think that's too bad. I think that the younger generations kind of miss out on that. And then with the phones, they like, I can get everything right from my phone. Why even go outside? Yep, yep. We had to do everything in real life if we wanted anything. We if we wanted to get, I mean, nowadays you can get anything just delivered to your door. I never even, in fact, the only things that I have ever had delivered to this day to my door would be stuff from Amazon that is just actually just a convenience for me. I have not ordered food. Well, back in the day, we would order Domino's pizza. That was a luxury, to order a takeout pizza and have it delivered. That was a big deal. That was a huge thing. And no other food platform, like no other food, but you had to call up on the phone, say, hello, you had to find the number in the phone book, find the number, dial the number. This is how long it would take. 6, 7, ring, 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 ring. This is how long it would take. See, people have lost interest already. People have no, absolutely. I mean, right, right. Anyways, people have no patience for anything. People have no patience for anything at all anymore, for anything. I have a neighbor who, because I live in an apartment and she lives next to me, and I asked you because you are so kind just this once. I don't know what you asked, so you need to repeat your question, person. Um, I asked you because you're so kind just this once. Well, now you're repeating yourself, so I'm gonna have to let you go. Okay, well, there we go. I think we have a bot. So we're going to do that. There we go. Yeah, bots, right? Okay. So I guess that my opinion on phones in spring break or was a big fat fail because everyone exited the room. All right, all right. And then what was the other thing that I was thinking about talking about today? The first thing was midlife crisis. The other thing that I was thinking about today, and it's not, it should be more positive than this, but I was thinking about, okay, I'll be right back. There's no one in here, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Everyone's gone. That's okay. That's all right. Maybe it. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there. I don't know if anyone's ever here. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. So what am I gonna do this week, like the rest of the week? I'm trying to think about like over the weekend. Ooh. Alright, it's good. I don't know what I'm doing this week. I do have to work. I do have to work. And I'll work Wednesday and Thursday. I have full day of work. And then Friday, I don't know. I'll probably work some. But I might then go up to the mountains and hang out for a few days. That's possible. Could be. Could be. What do you think? Austin's still here, just doing stuff in the kitchen. I know I'm kind of doing stuff too. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to walk away for a minute. So no, sorry about that. I dozed off. That's okay. No worries. We had some kind of unusual conversations. We talked about cannabis. I'll turn that down. And like first car, here's one. There's a good question. First car. First car you ever had? I got my grandmother's car. I inherited my, at the time I was, I think 18 years old, and my 92 or 93-year-old grandmother at the time, finally they took the keys away from her because she had no business driving. She only got her license at like 85 when her husband died. How about that? And so that's like, there's no good about any of that. And she was a Mennonite. She grew up with buggies and horses and lived much of her life with buggies and horses. Yeah, my father, here's interesting. I have so many weird stories about my life. My father was raised as a Mennonite. And yeah, that was a thing. But he married my mom and so got away from that. Stevie Wonder, baby. Turn that way down. But really had to get away from the whole situation. So he married my mother. And then they wanted to have a family. And they realized they weren't able to have a family. And so then they adopted my brother. And then they adopted me. And, you still get compliments when you're in public. Fredred, I have a wonderful time when I'm in public. Compliments, I mean, you mean about what? About my behavior or about my appearance? I mean, are you a man? Do you get compliments in public? Still, I know, it's kind of a weird question, isn't it, Austin? It's like trying to figure that one out. I don't know, do men get compliments in public? Austin, Sonal, Fredred, do you get compliments in public? Like, is that a regular thing? Do you get compliments? I remember when I was younger, I used to get catcalled. If you know what catcalling is. I'm a man, women never compliment me. Because you're a man or for another reason? That's an interesting thing. I mean, yeah, generally, how often do I compliment men? I guess it depends on how many, if I'm in the pub and if I'm frisky or... No, when I was younger, I was a different person when I was younger. I'm a mature woman now. They say that men in their, on their deathbed remember both both compliments they got. Okay, come on, Austin. You gotta bring it all. You gotta bring it all. Remember both compliments they got. Okay, Batty, a weird question. Do you believe in ghosts? Why not? Sure. Why not? Sure, I believe in ghosts. I mean, if I believe in spirits, and I definitely believe that spirits can come in different forms, and I've never seen a ghost, but that doesn't, just because I haven't seen something doesn't mean I deny that it exists. I think there can be things out there that I don't know about, for sure. I don't claim to know everything. Have you ever seen one? I have not. I have not ever seen a ghost. I'll say this though, while we're on the subject of sort of spiritual and paranormal stuff, I have felt the energy. When my father died about 7 years ago, um, there were 2 or 3 times when I felt him with me. And my mother also said they had been married. They had been married for 60 years when he passed away. And in the month or so after he passed away, she said she would lie in bed, and sometimes as she was sort of falling asleep, her arm would be out, and she said she could feel him putting his hand on her hand in the bed. And I believe it, you know. So it's the living that scares me more. Straight up, I'm way more afraid of. It's like that whole thing that went on for a while about women. Would you rather be in the woods with a bear or a man? Well, it's not quite the same. But it's what are you afraid of? It's afraid of human beings. Like Fred from Scooby-Doo always says, there's no such things as ghosts. And Scooby-Doo was all about the ghosts. You're so funny, Sonal. That's hilarious. Ashmad. Hey, Ashmad. How are you? Cha-Cha, what's the significance of having really positive dreams about your future? Is it indicative of a better future or just another dream? Oh, I think dreams are very powerful. I think dreams are your subconscious, like wanting to manifest things. So I think if you're having dreams, absolutely 100% pay attention to them. Actually, about 20 years ago, longer than that, a little more than 20 years ago, I had a dream, and I had somebody and I told someone about it, and they're like, pay attention to that. And I felt like I should have paid attention to it, and I didn't. And I wound up getting really screwed over in the manner that the dream was suggesting. The dream was sort of pushing me, do something, do something, do something, and I didn't pay attention to it, and I wound up getting screwed over. So I think dreams are there for a reason. It's your subconscious trying to bring a thought to the front of your mind and get you to think about it and go, hey, pay attention, do this, pay attention. So that's what I think about dreams. Batty, it's 6 a.m. in my country. I didn't sleep all night. It's a dark, oh, Batty, it's 6 a.m. and you didn't sleep. I hate those nights. I have those nights occasionally, and I'm sorry that you didn't sleep well. I hope you get a chance to sleep at some point during the day. Those are the worst nights. I tell you. But ghosts, okay, ghosts. I've never seen a ghost. That was the original question. I've never visually seen like a ghost. My brother says that there was a point. Well, he was also told me he was on LSD at the time, so that might have interfered with it. But he said he was lying in bed as like a 16 or 17-year-old, and at the foot of his bed was one of our grandparents. And so, I mean, I don't know. Who knows about that? I know about what I feel. I definitely feel energies. I know my father came to me at least once. So there's that. Austin, I had a recurring dream as a child that took place in a farmhouse. Years later, I was shown my great grandfather's birthplace. It was that house. Whoa. See? That's why I believe in dreams. I think it is really some part of our subconscious that is trying to bring it into the forefront of our thinking. It's trying to get us to think it's like our dreams are saying, hey, think about this. Think about it. It has meaning. It has meaning. Right, Patty? I also have a dream about a man we just friends, but in that dream, me and him was talking about marriage. He was talking about like when we were going to get married, but the fact is we are just friends. Well, and that can be the case too. Just because a dream is happening in your mind doesn't mean that it has to happen. It just means that that person is wanting that maybe with you. But that doesn't mean that you have to do it. Just like when I had this really strong dream 20 years ago, and it was kind of telling me to, it was kind of encouraging me to do something, and I didn't do it. You don't have to follow the dream. And sometimes dreams it can be kind of squishy and uncertain. You don't really know what is really going on with the dream. I'm not really sure. Um, so, you know, it's just the subconscious, I think, sort of sending messages to your conscious mind, your sleeping mind, telling your awake mind, hey, maybe think about this. You don't have to do anything about it. Maybe that person baddie, your brain is just telling you, be aware of this. Be aware that this person wants to marry. Be aware. Or it's actually happening in your life. This person is wanting to marry you. You're aware of it. You're aware of it. I think that's what the brain is just trying to remind you of. Just be aware. Then you make your own choices. Eddie Elliott. Okay, Eddie Elliott, keep your comments clean. Okay, I'll let you stay here if you keep your comments not racially biased. Okay, just that's all I'm gonna say. Austin, have you ever done a past psych regression? Would you? I have not, and yes, I would. I think that would be fascinating. I have a lot of mixed stuff with the way I was born and raised because I was, my biological mother got pregnant when she was young, and it was I was an unwanted pregnancy. She put me up for adoption, and I was adopted. And so I lived this very different life, and then we grow into the year 2000s and everything when there's DNA, and I found relatives, and I found out my whole backstory, and a regression. I mean, at this point, I've kind of done everything else. It's like, why not? Why not at this point? Because once I cross over that rainbow and I go over there, I'm going to know it all anyways. I'm going to find it all out anyways. I would do I think a regression, if it wasn't a creepy person. I think if it was sort of somebody who had I don't know, like a reputation of being a decent human being. I don't want to psychologically get messed with by some kind of a creepy person, because the mind, if you're going to open your mind and your spirit and your heart up to something, you've got to be able to trust the person that you're allowing to sort of get in there and play with your all this. So, but I would, yes. The answer is yes. Eddie Elliott, you've been a bad boy. Bad, Eddie. Uh, Behavna. Chaudhry, oh my God, literally something, something, I don't know. Batty, stop, guys, don't be inappropriate. Okay, thank you, Batty. Batty, you're very sweet. Okay, it scrolled up before I even saw what, well, I know Eddie Elliott tends to be, a certain type of way. But I appreciate that, Batty, thank you. Bevan Chaudhry, you're a so kind-hearted person. Thank you. John from Auckland, is that you, my friend? I think because it's E2Z1L. See, it's hard to pronounce that. You're so kind. I was unwanted pregnancy as well. That's almost 61 years ago now. Things change. Holy cow, you're like speaking my story because unwanted pregnancy almost 61 years ago. So, and actually, when she was pregnant, it was 61 years ago because my birthday is coming up. So my birth mother was pregnant the year before in the summertime. So, yeah, John, you and I are on the same I don't know. Is it good or bad or whatever? It's good to know that it's not good, but it's comforting in a weird way to know that there are other people out there that kind of understand and went through that sort of weirdness. I think anywhere before the 60s and into most of the 60s, there were so many children and unwanted children that were sort of shuffled between families, especially after World War II, because a lot of men were unalived. And there were children and babies that couldn't be raised by these single mothers, and they were passed along to family members or neighborhood friends, and people just took in children. I know people who were raised that way and eventually maybe given back. And it's like my birth mother and her brother were raised by other not family members, family friends. And because such a story, my biological grandmother died during my uncle's birth, 2 weeks after. Side effect of the birth. She got pneumonia. Back in those days, they didn't know how to deal with it, and she passed away. It was in the early 40s. And that happened. Pneumonia took people's lives just after childbirth. It was horrible. It was horrible. And so the mother was gone, and my biological mother was 2 years old, and her brand new baby brother, newborn, was there, and their father was there, and he was like, I don't know how to raise a 2-year-old and a newborn baby. So family friends took the children, and he went off and worked, and like 7 years later, he came back to the family friends and said, okay, I can take, he married someone else. And finally then said, okay, I can take my kids back now, 7 years later. So weird. It's a world, There's all this history and stuff like that that people don't know about, and nobody talks about, because it's like, shh, don't talk about this stuff. It's like when my mother got pregnant in the 60s, it was like, shh, don't tell. They sent her off to get all the way pregnant, have her baby, put her baby up for adoption, me. And then she came back into life, and nobody was shamed. And she went back to being a second grade teacher, and life went on as whatever. She had a very tragic life. That's what would stop me, bad juju. Bad juju. That's what would stop you from what? What did I miss, Austin? Batty, take a guess how old I am. Batty, I think you're young. I have the I have a feeling you're like 30 or under, but I could be totally wrong. So, but that's my guess. I am 15. Batty, honey, sweetie, you should not be in this chat. You are too young. This is an 18 and up chat. So you need to go. I'm sorry, but you need to go. Elijah, hi, I just got back. What's the topic? Oh man, I went on a tangent, Elijah. I went on a tangent talking about um, how babies back between the World War II and like the 70s were like handed between families, and people were killed during unalive during wars. And so young children and babies were handed off to friends, family, neighbors to raise because they couldn't. They didn't know how. Or, too many of the parents were no longer alive or couldn't take care of them or didn't have the money or something like that. So it was a whole different thing than now. Whole different thing than now. And there was no such thing back then as like birth control or abortion or anything like that. So if a woman got pregnant, she would have the baby without question. And then if she couldn't take care of it, she would just give it away to whoever could take care of it, whether it be a neighbor, a friend, a family member, someone else, and then would just raise that child as their own. And that sounds really odd now, but it was really, really common back. And I can't even speak before the early 1900s. I'm sure in the 1800s and other, you know, centuries before then, there were a lot worse things that probably happened with children that were not one in Austin. Catholic Ireland has a very dark history with mother and baby homes. Some horrifying stories. Yes, mother and baby homes. Um, they, during the 60s, oh, that's a good song. Can't have that on YouTube. But back in the 60s, um, my parents who adopted me, when they realized they couldn't have kids, they actually started taking into their home unwed, this is what they were called, unwed mothers. And they would live with in these homes for unwed mothers. My parents, before I came along, opened their home and had over a dozen young women come and live with them over time, over a number of years. And they just helped them out, helped them kind of get through the pregnancy. And then once they would have the baby, then they would go back to their families wherever they were from. So, and that's, I'm assuming, what my biological mother wound up doing was that because she got pregnant in San Diego, and her father and stepmother lived in about 2 hours away in Riverside, and I guess she must have told them that she was pregnant, and they sent her away to Los Angeles, which is like, we're talking about a big triangle there, right? San Diego, Riverside, and then Los Angeles. So she went and lived somewhere in Riverside, probably a home for an unwed mother. I was born in Hollywood. Weirdly enough, Hollywood isn't as glamorous as you think it is. It's kind of a dump, quite honestly. But I was born at the Queen of Angels Hospital. It was called something completely different back in 1965. And then uh, she gave birth to me there, and then 2 or 3 days after my birth, she signed me over to um, a California adoption agency. She just signed me over, and that was it. And that was it, And then my parents came along, and my mother says that when she came to look at the babies, she said, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll take meeny." My mother says that to me. My adopted mother says she chose meeny. And that's so she thought I was a meanie, or she wanted me to grow up thinking that I was the meanie. Not very nice, but I still love her. She's still with us today. Yes, she is. She is 92 years old. How about that? 92 years old. People don't live a lot longer than that, do they? Her mother lived to 95. And um, my mother is in much better condition than her mother was. Her mother was not nearly as active, or, anyways, a 92 is up there in the years, isn't it? Elijah, I just cut back again. Harpreet, hello, how are you? I'm good. Harpreet, I think I get the name right. Minnie was you. I don't know what that means. Harpreet, that's great. Austin, you're not a meanie. I'm not a meanie. I don't think I'm a meanie either. She just likes to, she just likes to do that. Some people are just that way. Some people are just that way. She always wanted to kind of keep me in my place. But that's okay. I'm old enough now that I'm like, fine. I've heard that joke. She loves to tell everyone that. Yeah, when I went to pick her up, pick one out at the adoption place, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I picked Meanie. Like, okay, you want Meanie. That's mean. Is that mean? I don't know. Is that mean? Harpreet, how old are you, ma'am, if I may ask? Are we all going to say it in the group together? I am 60 years old. Yeah. Surprised you didn't call me Granny, but it is what it is. What a shitty joke to tell. I think it kind of is too. And I've even told her, that's not real nice. It kind of makes me feel bad. But she's like, "Oh, it's just funny." And I'm like, "Okay, then I'm gonna have to live up to my name." That's all there is to. That's all there is to it. Fredred, what SPF sunscreen do you use? Um, that's kind of a random question. I don't know what the level of it is. It's in a lotion that I put on my face in the morning. It's probably 15 or something like that. I don't know. Every lotion or skin product you buy nowadays has, especially the stuff that's sold here in Southern California, has, a certain level of SPF in it, which is sunscreen protection, or SPF, sun protection factor. Yeah, so SPF, I don't know, it's usually around 15 and up. So, is that interesting? I don't even think that's interesting. We used to lay around in the 70s and 80s and even 90s because we did not know about sunscreen. We would lay out in our little bikinis with either nothing at all on our skin, or we would put, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, we'd put baby oil, but there was also this product called Bain de Soleil. And in French, Bain de Soleil means a sun bath. And it was like grease. It was greasy and it was orange, and we would put it on our whole body and lay in the sun, and you just feel it's like frying an egg. Seriously, we would just fry ourselves. You know, uh, it's amazing that more of us don't yet have uh, skin ending, skin life ending problems. I don't even want to say the word, but the M word. So, no. Yeah, we were not good to our skin when we were young. Absolutely not. And, what do you do with that? You just move on, right? Just move on. So what else? Are we getting tired, folks? Are we getting tired, or are we gonna keep talking? Are we gonna keep talking? I'll put my hair up. Music's still good. Are we still hanging out? Is it getting late? Are we done? Or should I come up with a new topic like drummers that I love? Drummers that I love. What's your favorite drummer? Okay, who can name this? Name it. I can't. I can't really leave it on YouTube like that for more than a moment. You know. Does anyone recognize that? I can tell you who that is. And I did not look at, I knew it because I love it. It's good stuff. Your favorite drummer? Okay. Harper, which countries have you traveled? Austin, Sharon, John Bonham. Is that one of your favorites? Yeah, John Bonham. It's a heartbreaker, isn't it? He was the first one that I heard that I listened to as a young person. I was like, because I had taken music and I understood time. And I was like, he's doing it differently. He's not staying with the beat. He's going with the beat, and then he's going off the beat. And I'm like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And he was the first one to ever make me wonder. And Keith Moon, right? Right? Oh, man. Yeah, so John Bonham was the first one that made me go, what? What is he what is he doing? What is he doing? Tragic. I think he was 32 when he passed away. Horribly, horribly tragic. Apparently, John Bonham was like this really, really nice guy, unless he was drinking, and then he got really nasty, and it's just tragic. It's just tragic. So, and he died from that at 32. So, sadly, a lot of drummers have a lot of musicians have gone away. Do you know Taylor Hawkins, Austin? Do you know Taylor Hawkins? Harpreet saying, okay, which countries have you traveled? Germany, Austria, Italy, Switzerland, France, England, Holland, Japan, Taipei, Hong Kong, Australia, Canada, Mexico, United States, and there's a bunch that I have not been to. But most of that, all of that was back in the 80s. So that's your, if you're still here, that's your answer right there. Nandan, I want to welcome you again to London, be my guest. Nandan, I don't recall you welcoming me before, but thank you. Thank you. I have a cousin that lives in London too, so thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to come to London. I've been to England, but it was a very, very long time ago. And quite honestly, my cousin has lived there for like 20 years, 21 years or something. And it's probably only been the last 5 years or so that By the way, that other song was John Bonamassa, if anyone knows who John Bonamassa is. But we're on to something else now. Um, Austin, Paul McCartney was asked if Ringo was the best drummer in the world. He replied that he wasn't even the best drummer in the I think I heard that. That's really funny. That's really funny. Really, really funny. Right? It's like asking about like Grohl, Dave Grohl. Was he the best drummer or was he the best musician in either Nirvana or Foo Fighters or and then Taylor Hawkins came in and then Josh Freese, you know, after Taylor Hawkins, I don't know, that's a whole if you're gonna go down a rabbit hole. I think that Dave Grohl asked Josh Freese to leave because he might have been a better drummer than Dave Grohl, and Dave Grohl's ego was like, no, I have to be the king of everything in the band, and I love Dave Grohl, and I love the Foo Fighters, so ignore everything I just said. Oh, good grief. Oh, I'll get myself in big trouble if that gets out. Oh. My own son would be very, very angry with me for even suggesting something like that. And uh, live. Yeah, no, I got what you said. And yes. What do you do for a living, if I may ask? Sorry, I've never been to your channel before. I work regular job in an office desk with a computer. Like, it's boring. It's not interesting at all. Um, Austin saw Foo Fighters in Belfast. They were awesome. Oh, so lucky. I love the Foo Fighters. I love Dave Grohl and their whole journey, you know, his whole journey from Nirvana into creating the Foos. And I'm a huge, huge, huge Foo Fighter fan. In fact, I've got shirt. They came to San Diego, let's see, not to 2025, because that was the year he got in trouble at the end of 2024 when he got that girl pregnant, right? Not his wife. Um, but earlier that summer, it must have been 2024. Earlier in the summer, they were on a big tour and they played here in San Diego at the huge Petco State Park. It's huge baseball stadium, enormous, and my son went. And he got in on the ground and he got video. He was like 15 people away from the stage where Dave Grohl was, and he got video, and there's like sweat flying. Everything is super cool. And my son knows how much I love the Foos and how much I love Dave Grohl, and he did manage to bring me back a shirt from that concert, and that was like super cool. So yeah, lucky you that you got to go see them in Belfast. That's like super cool. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Vendon, would you like to quit your job and be my wife? No, thank you. That's a very interesting offer, but nope, not at all. Problem, do you work out? Well, I walk, but no, I don't work out. Gagan, I'm back, Grandma. Hi, Gagan. How are you? It's nice to have you back. We're still here, hanging out for a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer I'm going to hang out. We were just talking about bands, and we were talking about like rock and roll and concerts we've been to, and drummers. Actually, Austin and I were talking about drummers and then bands. We got caught up in the Foo Fighters. I brought that up, which Austin was lucky enough, bragging that he got to see the Foo Fighters in Belfast. Nope, nope. I am just jealous because I have not seen them in concert. So that's just me being jealous. You were lucky. You were lucky. Um, Pure acoustic. I want to eat. Okay, I don't know. Not on. I found you so cool. How can I connect one on one right here, my dear? Say hello, Austin. Do you know the story of Dave Grohl in Ireland after Kurt died? I have heard this story. He picked up a hitchhiker in the middle of nowhere, and a kid was wearing a Kurt T-shirt. It shook him badly. Yes, I have his book. I read. My son, like 3 years ago, gave me the Dave Grohl storyteller book, so I have that. And I read it, and then I also listened to it online. You can listen to the story. And yeah, he tells the story about how after Kurt died, yeah, he was lost. And he was young, he was in his 20s, he was just lost, went to Ireland. Well, and this is a story. I don't know. I think he got very comfortable with this story. And the story that I recall him telling was that, yeah, he was driving through Ireland and he sees a hitchhiker. He didn't pick him up though. And he thought about picking up a hitchhiker, but when he got close, the person was wearing like a Kurt Cobain shirt and he was like, oh, hell no. And he kept going because it was too much. He was trying to escape the whole situation. So my understanding of the story was that he did not pick up the hitchhiker, but he might have changed his story over time. Who knows? But yeah, he was wearing the shirt that he tells in the book, and also the stuff that I saw online. John from Auckland. Hello, John. Roy Gallagher and Jimmy Page are two of the finest guitarists I've heard and enjoyed. Late 60s to late 80s was a fantastic time for music. Not a lot since for me. I agree. Austin, I think you're right. I'm not sure about what, but maybe about picking up the hitchhiker. I'm not sure. But what I remember was that he didn't actually pick up the hitchhiker, but he saw the hitchhiker. But it kind of makes for a really good story. If he just wants to tell a really good story. I wanted to pick up a hitchhiker, but he had a Kurt Cobain shirt. I don't know. You never know. It makes for a really, really good story for him. Um, yeah, John from Auckland. Um, we're talking about like older music, and I love the older music, and I have a hard time with the music today. It's just not it's not what it was, right? And I think that's why a lot of the younger generation, they now are, I think they're covering a lot of the older music. I mean, there are young artists that are writing their own music. Like I know Justin Bieber. Well, I don't know if Justin Bieber ever wrote his own music, but like Bruno Mars, he writes his own music. And Lady Gaga, whether you like them or not, they write their own music. I respect that. And even Taylor Swift, whether you like her or not, she writes her own music. So I have respect for the art and the fact that they are not just playing like a lot of country music, and not to diss country music, but a lot of country music artists are not writing their own music. And it was sad 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago now, that we lost Toby Keith. And he was only like a year older than I am. And he passed away. But he was a songwriter. He wrote his own stuff. That's why Dolly Parton is such a treasure. She writes her own stuff. Whether that's my favorite genre or not, these are people that I look at as like true artists. You know, same as like Taylor Swift or Lady Gaga or Bruno Mars or any of these people. They at least are writing their own music. And it may not be my jam, but they're writing their own music. It's not like the old days when it feels like they did. But you know what? I think about Elton John, and he's an icon, right? He did not write his lyrics, right? He wrote the music. But Bernie Talbot, Bernie was the guy who wrote all the lyrics for all of Elton John's songs. Hey, Bernie, God darn it, what's his last name? Bernie someone. I want to say Talbot. That's not right though. Anyways, gay again. Until the age of 45, I feel that being alone is good, but at the age of 50 to 60, I feel that being alone is not good. That's true, Grandma. Well, okay. Well, everyone is entitled to their opinion. So, it's not good. Taupin! Thank you, Austin. Bernie Taupin. I knew it was close. Taupin, correct. I was saying Talbert or something, but Taupin, yes. He wrote all the lyrics for Elton John. And Elton John was, you know, he's iconic, still to this day iconic, but he didn't write his own lyrics. So that's like true teamwork, but it's still songwriting. He wrote the music himself, and Bernie wrote the words. And what I've heard is that like, again, oh, that might have been because, oh, and I need to plug you in again. Here, let's see here. Hold on. Because my phone, it might be time to go because my phone is, there we go. My phone was getting close to losing its charge. Okay, people. How are we doing here, Bernie? No sound? Do we have sound now? Oh, back again. I think that was because I had a phone call come in, and then I looked, and my charge on my phone was getting really low, so I plugged in my charger to my phone. But I think it went quiet for a minute because there was a phone call coming through. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna call it for tonight because I need to call back. That was one of my children that was calling, and I need to call back. So this has been fun. This has been really fun. I will not be live Wednesday or Thursday because I have to work late. But I will be back live on Friday. So I hope I get to see you all soon. And I appreciate you all being here. Good night, Austin. Thanks for hanging around. I appreciate you all the time. I think you get my vibe. I think you really get me. And I get you too. I think so. How are the dogs, by the way? How are the dogs? The Ridgeback and the Wolfhound, right? Gagan, some time ago, my friend and I were discussing this topic, but we didn't get an answer. Can you give an answer? No idea what topic you're talking about. No idea. Anyways, Austin gave your doggies a good scratch for me. And love you guys. And I will see you on Friday. John, have a good Easter. Yes, I'll be back before Easter, but if you're all doing like family things before then, I might miss you. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. You too. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.